I want to thank everybody for watching Crypto Revolution. We talk about everything crypto daily. Jumping right into the market today in crypto. Sideways. Overall market cap of cryptocurrency, $197 billion. Bitcoin at $72.51. If you guys appreciate the content that I provide every day, please like the video. Take 2 seconds, hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I make these videos every single day. I want to make sure to keep everybody updated on all things crypto. Hit that bell for notifications. Know that I read all the comments in the comment box, so please post your comments. Bitcoin 1 hour chart. So this is previously posted probably about 24 hours ago. This is a Bitcoin 1 hour chart. You can see you've got this parabola, right? And just rounding bottom forming. A falling wedge as well. Noted that a quick drop would happen if we fell below 7,050. But it's important to note this is a bullish reversal pattern, this falling wedge. 68% chance that it breaks higher. Boom, broke higher. Now again, this is the 1 hour chart. A lot of this stuff won't even show up on the radar. This is a couple $100 moves that we're seeing on the 1 hour chart. A lot of times people come into my trading group and they're on the 5 minute chart, or they're watching the order books, or 10 minute or 15 minute. You guys got to zoom out, right? Like these 1 hour charts probably as zoomed in as I want to get, right? You're just not going to have a whole lot of big moves. You're sitting there watching the order book, like you really want to look at these cryptos from a macro perspective. 1 hour chart, you see Bitcoin is starting to curve higher like we talked about. This is a 6 hour chart. So this is a descending triangle. These wicks line up perfectly. Okay, so this is a bearish triangle. However, you can see we're starting to reverse. So potentially we run to this upper trend line around 7,400 or so, and then back down lower. Again, this 64% chance that this breaks to the downside. You have to notice that there's a bullish MACD cross. As soon as we get a breakout of that large falling wedge on the daily chart that we've been talking about, then boom, it's time to run, right? Flip to bullish. I've got a cryptocurrency trading group. I've got chat groups. I've got 41 videos in a playlist that'll teach you how to trade this market if you don't know anything, very basic trading videos. Most people join the trading group because they want profitable trading setups. I post these guys. XTZ up 175%. So this was an aggressive buy that I gave back on November the 6th. Huge gains for Tezos, but it all started down here. Aggressive buy. I did a search in my trading group. I have 10 setups over this given period of time as far as XTZ goes. You know, you have plenty of ways to make money in this trading group. If you guys want to join the group, you want to pay in crypto, email me, cryptobitcoinchris@gmail.com. I'll get you set up and in the group today. I definitely recommend you pay in crypto. It's highly discounted. You get 20% off if you pay for 6 months. You get 30% off if you pay for the year, and you get an additional month for free. The group's cheap. It's not designed to be expensive. If you do want to pay with a card month to month, you can do so. The Patreon link is in the description. Keep in mind, the group will pay for itself in a couple trades for the year. This is Bill Pulte. So he's a billionaire. His grandfather founded the Pulte Group, which is America's largest home builder. So I was doing some research on him, and I'll show you why in a second. So he started this big philanthropy campaign using Twitter. So he'll go into parking lots and just give away handfuls of cash to strangers. He'll give away free cars. He announced he would give away $30,000 to an American veteran if Donald Trump gave him a retweet. And President Trump did retweet and stated, "Thank you, Bill," to 63 million Twitter followers. So this gentleman has about, Bill Pulte, he has about 1.8 million followers. He's a billionaire, and he's giving away all his grandfather's money, really is what's happening, right? Everybody's, look at this like meme down here. This lady's like, "Hey, pick me now." Why are we talking about Bill Pulte, Chris? I'll show you, because he recently bought 11 Bitcoins. Guess who saw that? 1.8 million followers. Mainstream adoption. Now we need him to start giving some Bitcoins away. Okay, this is Christine Lagarde. She came out in a statement and said this on Twitter about Bitcoin and stablecoins, interestingly enough. Let's listen to this.
My personal conviction is that given the developments we're seeing, not so much in the Bitcoin segment, but in the stablecoins projects, and we only know of one at the moment, but there are others being explored and underway at the moment, we'd better be ahead of the curve. if that happens, because there is clearly a demand out there that we have to respond to.
There is clearly a demand out there, she said, that we have to respond to. There's a demand for stable coins. There's a demand for currency that is stable. It might not be your country's fiat. It might be these digital stable coins. Now, she said there's only one. Which one is she talking about? I'm just curious. Anybody? Anyone? And then, more importantly, she says this.
Is that given the developments we're seeing, not so much in the Bitcoin segment.
Not so much in the Bitcoin segment. What she's saying is she's not really worried about Bitcoin. I'm worried about the stable coins, okay? Listen, this is bullish to me. Litecoin is golden. Bitcoin is safe. Now, these stable coins, they're making the bankers nervous. Remember, European Central Bank here. Mainstream adoption. Here we go. It's coming. It's happening. I was researching this video today. I was in an amazing mood. Just like, yes. Cryptocurrency is still the world's best performing asset class this year. Listen, you can make so much money in this market. It's ridiculous. But we know the downside. You have to know for every parabolic increase, it's coming right back down. It's going to give back 80, 75% of the gains on every altcoin. Bitcoin's done it like it's always happened. You have to know this. You just got to sell the top. Bitcoin risks a deeper drop after shallow price bounce. So shallow price bounce, they're talking about probably this here. Okay, we get a shallow. And then, yeah, there's a good possibility that we do go lower. Okay, if you're not in Bitcoin right now, you buy the breakout to the upside, you keep a stop loss in place. However, it's a bearish pattern like we talked about. Jack Dorsey is the CEO of Twitter and Square, right? And he wants to launch a decentralized social media platform and called Blue Sky Project. Well, CZ says, let's do this. Let me help you. What can we do? CZ is CEO of Binance. So previously on the Chinese version of Twitter, right? It's another platform, but they refer to it as Chinese Twitter. The government of China shut down Justin Sun's account. And this is the largest social media platform in China. And so, yeah, CZ is like, yeah, let's do this. We need decentralized social media. If you guys haven't picked up a Ledger Nano X yet, the factory link is in the description. They're $119. You can also get a 2-pack for $149. You get a Nano S, which you can give away for Christmas to somebody else, and you get a Nano X for yourself. RIP Decentralization. I read this and I'm like, gosh, is this really happening? Like, it's like, yeah, we talk about it. Everyone's like, China's taking over Bitcoin. They're mining it all. They're mining a majority of the Bitcoin. You know, then you read these numbers and this is real. I'll show you a map of the world as well. So RIP Decentralization. There's a single province in China, one province in China that controls 54% of Bitcoin's hash rate. Bitcoin miners in China wield 2/3 of the network's processing power, and more than half of it is controlled by the Sichuan province. That's not very decentralized to me. Then in this tweet, CZ comes out and he says, in China, mining is highly encouraged now. They hope to control Bitcoin by having all the miners in the country under their control. China wants to control Bitcoin. Imagine that. Like, that's where we're at. The power that's used is actually hydroelectric power that's being used in China predominantly. So it's cheap to mine. On this map, it's showing where all the mining is happening of Bitcoin. And there's a bunch of it over here. And it showed basically the size of the dots depicts the percentage of Bitcoin mining. And you can see the Sichuan province is mining a ton. China is mining a ton of Bitcoin, 2/3 of the hash rate. And then this article talks about just other places in the globe. There's a lot in Canada, a lot of the US, some in Australia. But mainly, it's happening over here. Concerning. Decentralized? Not really. We also have to consider that Bitcoin whales have been consolidating. There may be more turbulence ahead. So you've got a small number of people now that control a lot of the Bitcoin hash rate, China, and wallets. Investors with 1,000 to 1 million Bitcoin are often referred to as whales. They hold 42% of all the Bitcoin supply. This used to be, in 2017, the bubble, they call it, used to be about 38%. So it's up 4%. Whales are accumulating Bitcoin. Again, there's a lot of centralization happening. It's in cryptocurrency everywhere. We got CEOs, foundations. You know, whenever you have the head of a cryptocurrency that could go and give an AMA, there's a lack of decentralization there. So this is possibly something to be concerned about. SEC Chairman Clayton says, hey, we're taking a regulatory approach to this, and it's proactive. And you know who he told this to? He told this to the United States Senate. He said, we're proactive here. We're getting it done. Do you think they're proactive? No, I don't. I mean, you have to remember that the SEC, the SEC is like the police, right? They're trying to stop the bad apples in crypto, right? The states that they're chasing the ICOs or regulating ICOs, cracking down on securities fraud. Okay. Remember, the SEC lets the courts come out and set precedents, and then they just basically enforce what the courts are saying. You know, the government really needs to come out and set the guidelines. So, proactive approach, he states, not really. PayPal filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. There's new rules that are requiring strict and constraining reporting for digital wallets, specifically PayPal's digital wallets. And so I just thought this was interesting because there's this campaign by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau where they want to regulate prepaid cards, prepaid debit cards, to avoid money laundering. So the rules for prepaid cards have been incorrectly applied to digital wallets, which applies to PayPal. And PayPal saying, hey, this regulation is going to lead to cumbersome reporting and unnecessary limitations for its users. The point of this is the regulations that they want to put in place across the board. They just want to track everything. The daily chart for Litecoin is starting to look at least like the downturn is slowing. So potentially we start to slow down and kind of move sideways for a period of time as far as Litecoin goes. But real quick, a lot of people talk about GitHub, right? And basically you want to look at crypto updates and see what's going on with the cryptos. You check their GitHub. So Litecoin has 37 repos or repositories on GitHub. So GitHub is where the files are saved in folders. Those folders are called repos or repositories, right? So changes to these files are recorded and they're called commits. So every time a file is updated or changed, it's a commit, and the commit goes into a repo or repository, which is a folder, right? So if you think about Windows, right, desktop, repositories are folders. The commits are updates to the files, right? Remember that. So remember, these commits really represent a quantity, not necessarily quality. It's hard to differentiate what's actually happening, right? So but if there's a higher number of commits, you know that at least the developers are working. Litecoin has announced that 0.18.1 has entered the final testing stage in October. So they're looking to add extension blocks. Extension blocks are a type of sidechain that was proposed by a Bitcoin developer in 2013. It allows, so it's not on the main chain, right? It runs on a side chain. And so these extension blocks can have increased block sizes that can bring increased programmability and privacy without the need for a hard fork of the entire chain. Again, you can make updates without an entire hard fork. Litecoin's looking at adding extension blocks and Mimblewimble. Mimblewimble is kind of a pseudo privacy protocol. Like, it's good, but it's not amazing. But they're looking to move forward with this. So good news for Litecoin. Lisk, LSK, lays off 40% of its staff 2 weeks before Christmas. Not good. Not good. They say, hey, we're still going to move forward. We got a solid team of 31 people in 2020. Orchid, never even heard of it. OXT, it's now live on Coinbase Pro. So basically, this is a native altcoin of Orchid Labs. Orchid Labs is a DLT, distributed ledger technology. They are focused on building highly secure custom VPNs, virtual private networks. Bezos keeps pumping. It was up 13%. I looked at the hourly chart earlier, and it looked like it had a head and shoulders on the top, so it might be topping out and rolling over. Bezos is really taken by storm. It's pumped into the top 10 cryptos now. Russia, check this out. They got this huge Russian ICO. $146 million they're trying to raise. Well, what's it doing, Chris? They're looking to expand the Darknet marketplace called Hydra. Darknet Hydra. So Hydra is basically anonymous rogue trading for illicit substances on a massive scale. And now they want to have an ICO to grow it on a global scale. Let's see if they let this happen. Ripple's XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, they've been mentioned in an official U.S. government document for the first time this has ever happened in Ripple's entire existence. So the document mentions that Ripple is one of the disruptors in the industry of global remittance. Also, they mention swift global payment innovation. So Ripple on the government's radar. If you guys like the content that I provide on a daily basis, be sure and subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below with the bell for notifications. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much.